What's up, everybody? It's CMP with Craftmaster Productions and Studio One Tutorials.com. Don't forget to stop by Studio One Tutorials and pick up your premium membership. It is 50 cents a day, and it is the only way to get the MIDI files for this tutorial. Now, today we're going to be looking at a Shoreline Mafia Blueface type tutorial. This is going to be going in using ski mask samples, these drum slap volume 1, and we're going to be looking specifically at the arrangement of these type of tracks. All right. So in this track, the first thing that you're gonna notice is it's a little bit more up tempo. It's like 90 beats per minute. You're getting into, you're getting into that Shoreline Mafia Blueface type of thing, and it's very, it's not that far off from, the stuff that was going on in the Mustard era. This is kind of like a resurgence of that, and it makes sense. He's a West Coast goat. That rhythm is gonna be everywhere. You just don't have the obnoxious chants everywhere. The instruments are it's kind of the same but kind of different. The first thing into doing something like this is, again, you can use loops from anywhere. This loop comes from my ski mask samples collection. And it's what I like. This is one of the things just I love about working in Studio One. The time stretch is so on point. They use the Z plane time stretch, but uh like if we go down to 148 BPM, which was the original BPM of this loop, you have this, right? So that's a trap song, right? But this just goes to show how important tempo is. When you take it and you go up to 180, now you're like West Coast mob music type shit. So it's so much goes into tempo. So don't think just because you get one of my packs, or you're looking around on Splice and you see something at a certain tempo, that you got to keep it at that tempo. Like experiment, boost, slow it up 40 BPM. Speed it up 40 BPM. So that's the first thing right there, how you can achieve that real quick with a loop. And you guys that are doing type beats and uploading to YouTube, this is something that you might want to think about doing with your arrangement. You might not necessarily do this with the actual song arrangement, but something that's being done, especially if you're not using loops, if you're composing your own stuff, a lot of times what people will do is they'll add some type of percussive element, like whether it's the hi-hat or the snare in the beginning, just so that some loser can't just chop chop the first four bars of your beat and flip it on their own, or take it to the lab and get the MIDI from it. So what we want to do is we want to talk about the arrangement of this track. The drums will be available in the premium Dropbox on studio1tutorials.com. You can find it there. Premium members, it is 50 cents a day. And again, we're going with the idea of having something change every four bars, and if you don't have the change every four bars, then that's the hook, right? So here you see this pattern is repeating one after the other, so I'm signifying that this is going to be my hook, right? Now, if you watch the next few patterns, because we're at 180 BPM or 90 in regular time, four of these patterns is going to be like a 16 bar verse. So you want to make sure that you have enough variation so that so that the rapper can get off. And one of a really great arrangement trick that is used by top producers like Metro and them is switching bass sounds and switching percussion sounds. I mean, so you can go from your main snare, which is going to be your second loudest sound in your mix, and then when you transition to another pattern and you want to lower the energy, you take a lower sound like a clap and kind of duck it off in the mix. And then after you roll there, this is a good time to kind of drop all the drums out. And you see, we're just using a repetitive loop, but because there's so much variation in the drums, the song moves along nicely. Now, all these drums are available in my These Drums Slap Kit, available on studio1tutorials.com on the Buy Sound tab. The other thing that makes this beat move along well and adds to the Shoreline Mafia vibe is you're not using sustained 808s. They're not playing, for the most part, not playing longer than a quarter note in this time signature. Now, this is something that I added on my own. I just thought that this has sounded better. I haven't heard them particularly use a lot of pitch bends in their 808. I just like the way that it sounded. Shit wound up coming off. So it's a very simple and straightforward composition. Nothing too crazy with the drums. Again, you guys can get that MIDI so you can further analyze it, and the arrangement will be available for you. What you're gonna receive is MIDI files like this. So you just drop them directly into your session, and you set the BPM to 180, and you'll have the whole drum arrangement to follow. And then all you got to do is find yourself a looper, compose it on your own, and you'll have this in front of you to learn from. and to customize on your own and turn into something new. All you got to keep in mind here is, like most of the stuff that we're going over, is that you can have a simple repetitive loop as long as it is a great loop, as long as you get a great loop like something from Ski Mask. And then you just have to pay, and you have to be disciplined and detailed enough in your drum composition that you add enough changes that are subtle enough to keep the listener's attention, but not so different that you wind up making two songs in one beat. So it's a CMP with Craftmaster Productions Studio One tutorials. You guys keep it simple, but do not be basic. And we will see you on the next one, fam.